as we leave the tunnel, where many great people in the past have been. Bobby Charlton.
Should we go through the Saints?
George Best. Yeah, we're here live. It's not live. It's a podcast. It's recorded. It's shambles. But St Helens are the Super League champions again, and in a game which was a game of rugby league.
It was a game of rugby league.
I think we're down there somewhere.
We're this way. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. We're not walking through the St Helens fans and getting rings of cheers. I mean, I would, hate to be negative because I'm never that. But as a contest, I mean, I think St Helens were just too good. It didn't seem to have the drama or the entertainment of, say, the Salford St Helens game or even the Leeds Wigan semi-final. Just thought it was pretty one-sided, and that just down to St Helens turning up and dominating from start to finish. Leeds were, they gave their all, but just too many errors, and I think just coming up against a team that was just so hungry for victory and greatness.
4 in a row, Phil. So are they the greatest team ever?
No, not yet. But the start of each half, they just dominated, and I think, both halves finished the same, didn't they? Same score, 12-6. And that sort of summed up the dominance. Leeds never gave in, but as a contest, it never really sparked because Saints were too good. The fastest ever Super League try, I think.
Was
after
it?
2 minutes,
Wow.
and then similar sort of time at the beginning of the second half. So, yeah, you're right, as a contest. But I think if you were a season ticket holder of both clubs, you'd feel quite optimistic.
Yes, definitely.
Leeds are back.
Leeds are back. I mean, what they've done just to get to the grand final, considering they were second from bottom, is remarkable. I mean, you give credit where credit's due, and those players and Rowan Smith have done a fantastic job. And they, at half-time they're in the game.
Yeah.
They had a sniff. Unfortunately, just that Conrad Harold try had no right to score that try. Beats 4 players. And you just can't give a team of St Helens, this St Helens team that is so good, that much of a head start.
Soft defence.
The first try was shambolic. I mean, just the softest dummy you'll see. But, Leeds have got a lot to celebrate, just considering how far they've come since April.
And they do play. I mean, the fact is they didn't lie down. A couple of times late on in the game, they were still throwing the ball around, and that's what certainly their extensive fans sought to see. That I suppose the slight worry would be the crowd, if we were looking at that.
60,783.
But
lowest crowd
not
since...
counting Catalan or the game that we had where we couldn't have a crowd.
Yeah, we were there.
The lowest since 2000.
That was about 41, I think, the crowd. We were there.
And again,
that was it. To be fair, Phil, that was a game. That grand final was, yeah.
But you have to ask the question: what is keeping fans away? Because I think that as a spectacle probably didn't ignite, but still had enough going for it to say.
I'm gonna say
it's an occasion. I felt we were at a real big event tonight.
Not every game can be amazing, we know that.
And a lot of finals aren't, to be fair.
That's true.
The only thing I would say is, though, if it is an event, it needs to be tarted up a lot more on the outskirts, because you do the same old things, fan zones, DJ in a corner. No one's coming to see a bloke who used to be on Six Music.
I also think as well that there was a lack of neutral shirts. We were hit pretty early, and I think that the buy-in, the 60,000, was from the fans of both teams, and we need, if we're going to make it the occasion that I think we've seen tonight, we need to find a way of getting more people here.
John, who's on your podcast this week? I've not recorded it yet.
I've done 2 podcasts the last week. I'm having a break. I'm having a lie down.
Just so I can ask them to come on our podcast and they'll say no, like Terry I've done last week.
No, I think at the end of the day, it's just credit to St Helens. Well, but St Helens are actually the winner. I mean, 4 in a row. The interesting thing that I find is a lot of people, on Twitter, which is never a good gauge, calling them grubs and boring and etc. And their dominance is killing rugby league. And
like Wiggins.
And I think that's just sour grapes.
As we said, in the salary capped era, to do something like that is an exceptional feat. To do it under 2 coaches with virtually 2 groups of players is fantastic. They deserve all the credit.
Couldn't agree more.
I do think that they've added a little bit of steel under Christian Wolf that perhaps they didn't get the credit for under Justin Holbrook, because his team did know how to defend as well, but they perhaps had a tiny bit more flair about them. But the fact that they can play both ways is fantastic.
There's always some drunk fans of the grand final trying to get on your podcast, aren't they?
Yeah, Leeds fans, they never behave.
Clearly drunk.
Yeah. Drunk on success. Well, not this time. But if you listen to the podcast, we've done 5 minutes, that'll be enough. Coming up is a load of interviews from the Woman of Steel Awards, which I blagged my way into because, as Gemma Carter says, I'm a stalker of Women's Rugby League, so that's how I got in. I just flashed me media pass, got in, so they're coming up, and we'll be back with you at some point in the future with some more Rugby League. So, yeah, congratulations to the Helens, the first Super League champions of the third Carolean era. God save the King.
Who could ask for more?
Right, so now we're back from Old Trafford and in the vague Forty20 podcast studio. What a win for St Helens. Well done to them. If you're wondering why there's no St Helens celebratory interviews, we waited in the mix zone after the game and the players all went to the tunnel instead and didn't come to see us. And we had to go. We're going to get home, at least by midnight. So well done, St Helens. Well done, Leeds Rhinos Academy, who won their grand final on Sunday. Well done to Batley and Lee, who will face each other in the £1 million game. And well done as well to the Salford Red Devils women, who won their semi-final. I don't know who they play in the final, because someone just tweeted me to tell me. So good luck to them and whoever they're playing. Right, so we'll be back next week for sure, live next Tuesday. We're in a mystery location. We do have all the dates in pencil. We just need to put them in pen. As soon as we do, we'll give you all the details of where you will see us live across the north during the World Cup and after, because we're going on tour. I think we're doing 10 shows in total. We've done one already, so 9 shows still to come. We're coming to a library near you, perhaps. Unless, like Carson, you're in Switzerland. They haven't given us the airfare to get there, unfortunately. So not much I can do about that. But before then, if there's not another podcast this week, enjoy these interviews from the Woman of Steel Awards, or the Betfred Women's Super League Awards, as they were called. I snuck in with my media pass on Saturday afternoon and interviewed the 3 main winners. First is Holly Dodd. She's the York City Knights forward who is the young player of the year. Then you'll hear from the familiar voice of Lois Fussell, the coach of the Leeds Rhinos, who of course won the women's grand final the week before. And finally, to close off this mini podcast, Tara Jane Stanley, York City Knights and England fullback, and Woman of Steel 2022. Holly, congratulations, young player of the year. I guess you just found out then. How does it feel?
Thank you. I'm really overwhelmed. I wasn't expecting it all. To be nominated is even a massive achievement. I know I was up against 2 of the best athletes within the league, and I'm really happy to have received it, yeah.
It's been a great year for York, winning the League Leaders' Shield, just missing out in the grand final, but plenty to build on for next year as well. Yeah,
we weren't expecting to get where we have so far this season, so we had a few new people in at the beginning of the season, me included, and we just gelled, and we said at the beginning of the season we're going to enjoy ourselves this season, and we weren't expecting to win the league, so it's been a massive achievement and a great season, yeah.
I said to Caitlin Beavers last week, she's almost a veteran of the team. She's 20 and played when she was a teenager. You're still a teenager, but you've had so much experience already. How does it feel being such experience at such a young age?
It's great. Like, the people at the side of me have also helped me out. Like, the whole team helped me to be where I am now. I know I came from Cass and then I've gone to York, and the whole environment just helps you get to where you are.
How did she win the Woman of Steel this year, Tara Jane Stanley? What makes her the special player in the competition this year?
She's amazing. Like, she takes the whole game from the back. She's one of the best players. Well, she is the best player in the league, and her feet is unbelievable. She's like a dancing queen basically on the field, can't lie. She bounces off tackles. She's unbelievable.
Lois, congratulations, Coach of the Year. As you said on stage, I guess this is the award not just for you but for everyone else at the club who's behind you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm incredibly lucky that the support staff have got around us. The assistant coach and Ant and Dave. When I was on maternity, I was still around, but I had a little boy last year. They were really like my right hand and left hand men. They were just there. They're everything. And you look at our success. They've been there from the very, very first day. So as assistant coaches go, they've got a pretty good track record. And for me stepping in as a head coach, I was absolutely over the moon that they'd be there either side of me and making sure that it were a job that I enjoyed doing with great people around me, and the same for the backroom staff. Just a real good vibe about it, and everyone's there because they enjoy working with each other and want to do the best by the girls in the club.
2 years into the role, what have you learned? What's changed with yourself from when you first were appointed coach to lifting the grand final trophy last week?
I've learned every single hurdle. It's like literally every day I turn up, it's every day's a school day. I learn something new all the time, but I would probably say that giving the girls as much detail and clarity as possible. Attention to detail is absolutely key. And not expecting that I can do everything myself, get some great leaders within our staffing group. And I think we've certainly got that, whether it's S&C, physio, assistant coaches. Incredibly fortunate to be around that group, and always ask for help. And great mentors at the club in Rowan, Chev, John Bastian. I've had Leon Quick's always been there, Barry Eaton. The list could go on, but actually reaching out, getting some support is absolutely vital. I know heading into the semi-final, I had a right good sit down and just a rugby chat with Chev, and just having those opportunities to be reaching out to people like that and not finding that it's a job you've got to do on your own is absolutely massive.
As a club, you've had 2 players on the Young Player of the Year shortlist as well. That must bode well for the future.
Absolutely, yeah. I think as a club we're really, really proud of our player pathway. You look in that group, you've had the amount of players that have come through our academy system, but Fran and Kira absolutely thoroughly deserve to be in that shortlist this year. Both absolutely class athletes, class players, and even better, just great people. So they've been outstanding for us this year, and I wouldn't say unlucky to miss out, because Hollydodd's been absolutely fantastic this year. I think in their own right they're all 3 very, very good players, and looking forward to hopefully getting to see them all pull on a England shirt in the autumn.
The work never ends. No teams won the Women's Super League back-to-back. How do you prepare for that? I guess the preparations have started already.
100%, yeah. I kept telling myself, come on, just get, this week and then next week, and then you get to have a break. And then I got to the week after the grand final and thought, oh, that break's not coming. So, there's just preparations always going on and ongoing. But you know what? No one involved in rugby is involved in there because I want it to be a job. They're involved there because they absolutely love it. And incredibly lucky to be part of Leeds Rhinos, part of the women's setup. And I'm just, it's almost exciting. You're already looking ahead with 2 eyes on that Challenge Cup final spot at Wembley. So, let's get prepping, let's get working. We'll give the girls a bit of time off though, so don't be worried, there's no pre-season coming just yet.
Finally, you were replaced and people thought you were irreplaceable as a player. How do you replace Courtney Winfield-Hill?
Oh, look, Courtney's absolutely outstanding, and I would actually probably go, you don't ever replace someone, you just find a way to go around that. I'd like to say that, I was very different to how Kira will ever play, because I would never want Kira to think she had to play like I played. Kira's absolutely class in her own right and an absolutely outstanding athlete, so the challenge was out there for the next young player to step up and fill in where Courtney has been, and never be Courtney, because no one ever will be. She's an outstanding player, an outstanding person, and she bleeds blue and amber. She's coming as an Australian, she kind of just gets it from the minute she walked in. So we'll never replace Courtney, but we'll find someone who steps into that position. But Courtney will always be a massive piece of what we've done, and I'm sure she'll go down the history books as an absolute class captain.
Tara, I've got to show the trophy here because it looks absolutely massive, but as you said, it's really light.
It's quite light actually, yeah. I'm a bit fortunate it's a bit light, because at first I thought the worst thing I could do is drop it on stage, but no, thankfully it's light.
It looks like it's going to be an absolute nightmare to keep clean.
Yeah, I said to Lindsay as soon as I said, if you seen that up there, I said, I'm not keeping all of that. I said, I'll have to give it to one of the parents and they'll have to look after it for me. But no, I'll keep it safe, I'm sure.
Woman of Steel, tell us how you found out about it, 'cause it's a great story.
Yeah, so it's as soon as the grand final finished, I went back to York to see some fans, and then I headed straight to Manchester Airport, slept a bit there, and then I had to catch a flight at 5 o'clock in the morning. So Tom rang me up on Tuesday it was, and he said, Tara, have you had a good day? I said, yeah, it's great. I said, I'm in Lanzarote, and he literally just went silent for a bit and went, what? I went, yeah. I said, it's my mum's wedding tomorrow. He went, oh, well, he said, well, I'll have to ring you back. Oh, but wait there. He said, the main purpose of my call was the fact that you've won Woman of Steel 2022. And I was like, what? And then the phone goes dead. And I literally stood there with my phone. My partner came up to me and she said, you look white as a ghost. She said, what's up with you? I went, well, I think I've just won Woman of Steel, but he's going to give me a call back. So, it was magical, but very overwhelming.
Now it's had time to sink in. Well, has it sunk in yet?
Not really, no. It hasn't, in all honesty. It hasn't sunk in, especially up against some of the nominees that I was. I didn't for a second think that I'd be up there. Like, to be even nominated as top 6 in such a great season that the women have had, I would have been content with that. But as I say, it's been a tough season for myself. Like, obviously with the grand final, but we won league leaders, and that was massive for us. It's, as I said on stage, it's a lot more steps than what we thought, and the fact that Leeds played so well, I can find content in that. But no, from myself, it's just about building myself as a fullback.
They're a pain in big games, aren't they, Leeds? They always seem to know what to do.
Both, well, hopefully men's today, and the women, they're phenomenal at playing some of the semi-finals and the finals. They've got Leeds women have got some massive players and players who can play and work great under pressure. But as I say, they played absolutely phenomenal in the final, and I'm definitely content in the fact that we put up as much as we could.
Everyone's always humble when they win these things, but why do you think you've won Woman of Steel this year?
Because of the players I've got around me. Without a shadow of a doubt. I've worked very closely with Lindsay, and Lindsay Anfield is pretty much the reason why I'm holding this today, and she's my friend off the field, but as soon as I step over that whitewash or I pull on a York City Knights top, she's my coach, and she's been absolutely amazing for me this season, both on and off the field, and I've got a lot to thank for her. But the players around me, the fact that 50% of the nominees were York City Knights shows that we had a great squad this year, and we're just really, really enjoying our rugby. But I'm happy that I've won it, but I know that the people around me are the reason that I have.